Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with the arduous moth. Today we'll be looking at some tanks which I believe should be added into the game, and the reason why that is because there's been some talk of new update, things like that. Hasn't been confirmed, but these are tanks which I think should be added in. So we're going to start with the Amx 13105, and I would really love this to be added in, because it will be basically an Amx 1390 with the Revolution's gun, but as an autoloader. So it would be tier 6. It would be a light tank or tank destroyer. I think light tank would fit it more, but it could technically be a tank destroyer. 250 pen instead of the normal 200. DPM around 2850, reload 35 seconds to reload the clip, damage 390 to 530, reload between shells 3 seconds, shells in clip 3, speed 75, health 1400. Now I think this is balanced. It can be changed, the reload could be lengthened or the damage could be lowered. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I think that the gun should do exactly the same amount of damage as the Revolution, but it should have a hell of a lot more pen, because the Revolution fires AP, this should fire heat, so it should have between 250 and 300 millimeters of pen. So we'll move to the MX50B, and I think that this could be either a heavy tank or medium tank, depends really. Also, I'm not sure if I said, but the Amx 13105 speed 75. Amx 30B, the 50B. Oh yeah, Amx 30B, that'll be an interesting concept. Amx 30B, I think I might have this one in the lineup actually. There's a lot of tanks to go through, that's the thing. No I don't, I'll add it in later. So tier 6, heavy tank, health 2100. I think that the Amx 50B should have lower health than your standard heavy tank, but be a lot quicker. It would be nice if it stops jumping up like that. Speed 73, shells in clip 6, the reload between shells with 4 seconds. The damage 400 to 640. I'm pretty sure 640 is a bit too high, but I'll change that probably. Then the pen. Now it's a very long 120mm gun. It's the same gun which the Amx M454 uses, and this means that it would have very high pen, either 280, 320, or 350. Now I think that 320 would be better. 280 will probably be too low. 350 will probably be a little bit too high, but it depends. If it does get with 320, now the thing I have problems with autoloaders is that I believe that their interclip reloads are too long. So I did a video, was it yesterday or the day before, realized that the audio wasn't working and whatnot. But then I was looking at this and I was thinking, well, maybe these numbers could be turned down, like from 3 seconds to 1.5 or 2 seconds, from 4 seconds to 2.5 seconds. Make autoloaders actual flipping autoloaders, not make them these stupid weird things. The damage, I think I've already talked about damage. The reload 60 to 80 seconds, so either a minute or a minute and 20 seconds. The DPM will be 3800, if that's the case. Amx M454, it's got the exact same gun, but the damage will be a little bit higher. And the reason why I think that this is a good thing is A, it's a tank destroyer, it's a casemate. B, it would have a longer interclip reload time. It would have probably more pen, but it will have worse damage per minute. Now the Amx M454, I think, looking at it now, I think that the MX50B should have its interclip reload at 3 seconds. The AMX M454 should at least have a ridiculously fast interclip reload, but give it like a really long reload. So yeah, that's that. It will have 1800 hit points. You know, give it low hit points, whatnot. Amx M454. Now, this is the Amx M454 just with 155mm gun. Tier 6, special tank. So what I mean by special tank is community contributor tank or whatnot. Tank destroy, obviously. It would have slightly more health than the Amx M454. It would be slightly slower from 60 to 55. It would have 3 shells, but instead of being an auto loader, it will be an auto reloader. So the first shell will be it will be 45 seconds. The second shell will be 30 seconds, and the third shell will be 15 seconds. I should really have that the other way around. You know, 45, 30, 15, but you know whatnot. Basically means it would have a 60-second reload time if you want to reload the entire magazine or drum. Now the thing is if you got all 3 shells loaded and you fire 1 shell, it will take you 15 seconds to reload that 1 shell. Now I think that will give this thing a little bit more flexibility, because if you had it as if you have a loaded clip and you fire 1 shell and it takes 45 seconds to reload, what's the point of having an auto reloader? What's the point? Now I think it should be you've got 3 shells loaded. Your first shell that you fire 15 seconds, second shell that you fire 30 seconds, your third shell. So it basically means if you expel your entire clip, it punishes you. Basically means it makes you think, oh right, okay, so I'm using this tank, I need to think, do I want to expel my entire clip, or do I want to fire my first shot? Hang on a minute, I think I've calculated this wrong. Hang on, 15, that'll be 45. Yeah, I've calculated this wrong. Hang on. Wait, I've messed the math up. Oh wait, it doesn't matter. The reload time between shells will be 9 seconds instead of 5. So the Amx M454 has 5-second in clip. This would have 9. I did originally have it as 12, but then I put it down to 9. The damage would be 850 to 1100 damage. Basically means you can hit from the lowest 850 to the highest 1100. The reload time will be from 90 seconds to 120. I think I've calculated that right. Yeah, I have. I've done the maths right. I'm being stupid. Whatever. Pen 280. Now the reason why I've given it less pen is because it's a 155mm gun. You know, balance it out. I think you could probably turn it down to 260. Now the Conqueror, this is the Conqueror that we've already had in game. Now I think what I've proposed is give it the Mark II turret, where it's basically got those spaced armor panels on the turret. Give the turret behind the spaced armor, give it more armor, give it more health, make it quicker, you know, lower its reload time and whatnot. But just, you know, just buff the armor really. Now the next tank is the E100 150mm. This would have the same turret, but it will have a 150mm gun. It will be super heavy. It will have slightly less hit points than the normal 128mm gun on the E100. It will be the same speed. The reload time will be punishing. The pen would be atrocious at 230, but the alpha damage will be there, and it'll be tier 6. IS-7 super heavy tank. You have 2,500 hit points. The speed will be 60. The damage will be 490 to 560 because it's got a 130mm gun. The reload will be 20 seconds. The pen will be 265. The damage per minute will be 1,680. IS-4M. Now, the IS-4M will be very interesting because the IS-4M basically is a moving bunker. It will have armor like it will have extreme armor, but it will also have extreme hit points. So I've given it 2,900 hit points that can be twinkled with, because again, it's not my game, it's Greg's game. This is just me just speculating. But it would have the IS-2's gun. So you're looking at, instead of 196, you're looking at 186mm pen, but you can give it a very quick reload. The speed will be 35, it'll be pretty slow, and it'll be tier 6, or it'll be the first ever tier 7 tank, which I think will be good. Then the next tank, Amx M454. Now, this is another tank I would love to see in the game. It'll be tier 6 community contributor tank, or you can make it like a premium or reward tank or whatnot. I don't think it would be beneficial having it as a Tankery tank. Yeah, just from the fact that it's not, it doesn't really fit into the game as well, into the French Tankery. But it's, you know, your traditional super heavy tank, 2,600 hit points, the speed will be 35, the damage will be 490 to 550. Now, if you've noticed, the damage is slightly less than the IS-7. No, I'm not biased towards Russian tanks. I just think that the Amx M454's gun is just weaker. The reload will be 22 seconds, the pen will be 250, the damage per minute will be 1500. Now, T30, this is a tank which has been hotly debated. This has been on the front line for years. This has been the pinnacle of arguments. This has been the match of massive wars within the community, and that's the T30. And this has been talked about for so long. You know, people have talked to Greg about it numerous times, and I think now is the right time to add this in. T30, tier 5, heavy tank destroyer, health 1500, give it low health, give it mediocre speed, the damage will be 750 to 900, the reload will be 27 seconds, the pen would be 303. I think you can tune that down to probably 270 or 250. The damage per minute will be 1,250, so basically means it will have mediocre damage per minute. Now, this is a tank which I think would cause quite a lot of arguments in the game, but I think it will be very memey. That's the T57 heavy, tier 6 premium heavy tank, health 2,200, the same as the T185, speed 40, damage 400 to 530, shells in clip 4. Now the reload time between each shell would be 1.5, so it'll be 1.5 seconds. So you come in the corner, bam, 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 right in. But it will take you a minute to reload. So instead of an auto reloader, it will be an auto loader. The pen will be 280 because it uses the same gun as the T125, but it's just an auto loader. Damage per minute will be 1600. So this thing will have pretty awful damage per minute, but it will be in the class of burst clip heavy tanks. Basically, you come around the corner, you just dump your shells into someone, and you ruin their day. Now, for the first, I think this will be the first ever Chinese tank in the game, and that is the 122 TM. Now, the 122 TM is already in World of Tanks, and a lot of people have been arguing: is it a medium or is it a heavy? Because it's not as quick as medium, and it doesn't have as much armor as a heavy, but it has more armor than a traditional medium, and it's quicker than a heavy tank. So it could either be a medium or heavy, or you can make a new class, call it a heavium, basically a medium and heavy combined. Tier 4 premium, health 1,280, speed 50, damage 420 to 540, reload 30 seconds. Damage per minute 1000. Object 277. This is another tank. It will be basically the IS-7 with less armor. Tier 6 community contributor tank, or maybe a premium tank. Now, I believe that Greg can only pick one community contributor tank. So this tank will be a heavy tank. It will be tier 6. The health will be 2,250, so not as much as the IS-7, but still. The speed will be outrageous at 75. The damage will be 490 to 560, because it basically uses the same gun. The reload will be 21 seconds. The DPM will be 1,545. Now, yes, you are reading that right. Watford Traeger Oxford E100. This will be an admin tank. This is the 150mm gun. Heavy tank destroyer, anti-air gun, tier 6 to 7, health 2000, speed 30, damage per shot 750 to 900, shells in clip 9, reload between shells 12, reload of clip 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, pen 250. This thing is going to have, I think it was a 7.5 minute reload, so a 7.5 minute reload. This thing here, this is the Waffle Trigger Oxford E100 with the 128mm gun, tier 67, normal Tankery tank, heavy tank destroyer, anti-air gun, health 2200, speed 30, damage 450 to 610. Basically, it uses the same gun as the E100 128. Reload between shells 4, the shells in clip 9. Now the reload will be a bit different. It won't be an auto reload, it will be a normal auto loader. The pen will be 256, so it will be a little bit better than the 150. But DPM will be pretty trash, and I think the DPM of the E100, the Waffle Trigger Oxford E100 150, I think it's even worse. I think it's on the basis of like below 1000 DPM damage per minute. So yeah, I'm sure someone will probably calculate this properly. You know, I've given it a go with calculating all the DPM. But the next tank I think that should be added in is something called the Object. God, I can't spell now. Object 260. Now the reason why tier 6 heavy tank. I better put it in caps. Heavy tank. Health will be 2300. Speed, I'll say 65. Damage, probably 490 to 530 or 560. Is it 560? I think it is. Yeah. Reload time, I'd say probably 19 seconds. Pen 265. Basically all these tanks I think should be added into the game. This would be a mega update. Some people have said that there's enough tanks in the game. I don't agree. I do not agree. Because the fact that the game is, it's very sterile. The meta of the game right now is medium tanks, and I think that needs to change. And the introduction of all these heavy tanks and tank destroyers will definitely impact that medium tank meta. It will definitely stop all these medium tanks from being dominant, because right now the heavy tank is basically not. The heavy tank is, it's close second, but a heavy tank just cannot perform against the medium tank. Right, so what the tanks which I think would definitely be added in, probably Amx 13105, probably as a premium and whatnot. Amx 50B was talked about for a while, talked about quite heavily and whatnot. You know, people were talking about it and whatnot, and I think Greg probably got involved at one point. The Amx FOSH-B, definitely, I think that this thing would definitely be added in. Conqueror, it just needs a buff, really. E100 150mm, probably the i7. It'd be either the i7 or the IS4. I think giving the IS4 the T10's gun would be a big mistake. I think you could make the IS4M to be to have very, very, very thick armor, but a very, 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 very bad gun. Amx M454, yeah, could be added in. T30, now he said in the past that he will not add in guns bigger than 152. I don't see that happening. I'm sorry, Greg, if you're watching this video, I do not see the fact of you not adding in any tank with a gun caliber bigger than 152. You're gonna do it. You're gonna have to be forced to do it later, sooner or later, because there's so many tanks out there which have guns bigger than 152 millimeters. I mean, you've got the FV4005, you've got the Conway with the 5.5 inch, you've got which I don't think that's not as big as 152, but still. You've got the T124, you've got the T30, you've got so many tanks. I just don't see how he's not going to add it in. T57 won't be overpowered because, again, the reload will be 60 seconds, but the inch-clip reload will be incredibly good, so you can come on that corner and just dump your shells in. Now, the armor of the T57 will be considerably worse than the armor of the T125, you know, hence in why it's quicker. It'll have the same hit points and whatnot. It'll probably have slightly more hit points because it will have less armor, but still, I don't know how he's going to balance these, but I would really love to see some of these tanks added into the game. Really love to see some of these tanks added in the game. I don't think that we need any more medium tanks. Medium tanks are already dominating the meta. I think adding in more medium tanks would just kill the game. The game's already damaged enough with the medium tank meta, and I think Greg really needs to focus on tank destroyers, heavy tanks, and light tanks at this moment. Medium tanks, just don't, because you got tanks like the Leopard, you've got tanks like the E50, you've got tanks like the Centurions. You've got so many tanks, so many medium tanks, which are just completely just devouring everything else. It's ridiculous. I know people keep on saying, well, if you nerf the pen of the Leopard 1, it will be useless. I don't believe so. The Leopard 1 is extremely strong at distance because A, it is blissfully quick. It is super quick. B, it's got a very potent gun. Like, the gun is stupidly strong. It's an L7A3. It's a licensed copy of the L7A1. Yet it performs 10 times better in the game. I do not understand that. I think that if Greg was to add in, say, the Centurion Action 10 into the game, that would have the same, if not better, pen values, and it will have probably the same, if not better, shell velocity, which I think again would be extremely damaging to the game because it will just provoke sniping. It would make more people snipe instead of brawl. I mean, heavy tanks, they're designed to brawl, they're not designed to snipe, for God's sakes. I think that right now he needs to focus on heavy tank destroyers, heavy tanks, super heavy tanks and whatnot, you know, tanks which are slower, which, you know, use armor and whatnot, and, you know, get closer to, you know, battle and whatnot. We don't need any more sniping tanks. We do not need it. We need more close-in engagements. I think sniping is just not fun. It's not enjoyable. You try and push in and you just get absolutely caked. You get absolutely destroyed. And I think that needs to change. I think that the introduction of the Lorraine 40T was pretty disappointing. The Lorraine 40T is just basically a slightly quicker and less DPM version of the Amx 5100, which is really disappointing. The same with the Batchat. It's basically just a slightly fatter version of the Amx 1390. It's just not fun. They're not fun. They're basically copies. Basically, the Batchat could have done with the 105, with the D215, I think it's called. That's the gun that the Revelry say the Amx 13105 and the Batchat use. I know that the Batchat in real life never used that gun. It used the 90mm F3, I think it's called. But he could have done a little bit better with the introduction of the Rain 40T and the Batchat. Saying that, I'm not gonna rip into him or anything like that. He does do a pretty good job. I mean, still the SU-100P is still broken. I would like to see that fixed. I think that the SU-130PM, that will be an amazing introduction. It won't have as much shell velocity as some of the already existing tank destroyers in the game, but it will have an extremely potent gun. I mean, we're talking very, very high alpha damage. Probably like 490 to 640 or whatnot. But yeah, I see what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. And I'll see what you guys think. Peace!